Hello and welcome to How to Integrate Salesforce with ChatGPT. In this video series, we're going to be going through the steps to actually set all of this up, which involves installing a package, assigning some permission sets, creating your credentials, and then actually putting the app where you want to see it in Salesforce. It takes all of about 30 minutes, and then you are off and running. So we're going to dive right in, and the place to start here is actually over on our blog. So over on our blog, you'll be able to see that we have all of these steps outlined in written format. So if you prefer that, you can just come right here. You'll see the description. In our description, there is a link to the blog, and you can just follow along there. You could also leverage this with the video. So here I'm going to start off, and I'm actually looking to install this in my production environment. So I'm going to go open this in a new tab, and then I'll head over to that tab. So here I'm going to log in, and I'll be hit with an authentication requirement. Upon authenticating, then I will see a screen for actually installing this. Alrighty, so now that we're all set up, we can now choose to install for all admins, all users, whichever. My preference is to choose to just install for the admins, since we have the permission sets that we can just assign to people individually. So I'll click the install, and then we'll come back in about 5 minutes and see the installation complete. Okay, so now that our package is fully installed in Salesforce, right here I could actually come to installed packages and see it right here. So cool, that marks us as having fully installed the package, and from here we're going to need to move into name credentials. Alrighty, so we're going to get right into it with creating the named and external credentials that you're going to need to be able to use the app overall. So first thing you're going to do, look up named credentials in the setup, and you'll come into here. Then you'll hit the name credentials and click new. From here you're going to add a label, and we're going to end up using this exact label to specify this app overall because it will be referenced in code. So one of them is OpenAI API, and then the next one is just OpenAI underscore API. We'll then come in and set the authentication protocol to custom and hit save. From here, we now have a few settings we'll need to do. Start off by hitting new for principals, and this new principal will be our token. We'll click add for authentication, and again the name will be token. And here, this is the API key we need to go to OpenAI to get. So you could search up openai.com, then you'll go to your login. This will bring you to the OpenAPI selection, where we want to go to the API itself. From here, once you're in your account, you'll need to come up to here and choose View API Keys. And from in here, you'll be able to create a new API key and actually apply it. So here I'm going to create the name, set it up. I'll grab my key. Do not share this with others. You can always replace them as well, but whenever you do, you will need to update this named credential. Here we'll click save. We'll follow that up with the next thing that we need to do is actually choose custom headers. Then once we have our custom header, we're going to put in for the name is authorization. And then we need this exact setting for the variable. So bear with all of this exactly so that then our code can look up to it and find the authorization code to communicate with OpenAI. We'll save that. And now we're going to end up needing to create our actual named credential. So this one was our external. We can click right here to go back, hit name credentials, click new, and now from here we're going to use a few of the same things as before. So one to put right in off the bat, and and again OpenAI _ API. We're now going to put in the base URL for the API at OpenAI and make sure you have enabled for callouts. We'll select our external credential that we just created, and then we're going to turn off generate authorization headers and select the next two boxes. We'll click save, and then we'll come down to custom headers. In custom headers, we need the following, as this will simplify some of the requests to the system. And we have one more to create. These specify some of the communication protocols within the request itself. And now from here, we just need to make sure that we allow these credentials to be used by our permission sets. So, and filter for O. We'll see OpenAI admin access and user access. So assign those specifically, one to your admins, one to your users. Now, we recommend cloning these out because as we roll out updates, these could be overwritten and you will lose access to your name credential, which means that your integration will stop working for the time being. So what we recommend doing is cloning this out, just adding internal or some identifier that you are comfortable with, and then hitting save. Now that I have my own version, I'll come into it, and then I'll go to external principal access. In here, we want to edit it, and we want to apply the name credential that we've created. We'll hit save, and then we'll end up assigning this to our users. Once I hit assign and hit done, now I can go ahead and start using this in Salesforce. Alrighty, so continuing the integration process, we're going to actually apply this ChatGPT component to a few places in Salesforce. My favorite is the utility bar, but we'll also show what it could be like to put it on a record page. So you'll want to go to your app manager, and from here you're going to select the app of interest to you. So standard out of the box are Sales and Sales Console, or maybe Service and Service Console, in which you could add to those. Now our company uses Loosely Cannon as our own. So we'll edit that app because that's the one we actually use. So once I head in and click the edit, I'm going to go to utility items, and then I'm going to choose to add an item. We can start to look for chat. It can take a little bit for it to actually start to populate the customs, and here we can see the chat now. And we could always choose a different icon. And from here, I'll also choose to add a little bit of extra space for my component. I think I might go with a 500 and a 600 on the width. And then I'll hit save. Besides adding this app to the utility bar, you can also add the app to your actual pages here in Salesforce. So I can go to the edit page in the Lightning App Builder. I can add it to home pages, record pages, as well as the last one being the app pages. So here I'll just look for open or chat or something to that point, and then I could just drag and drop, and bam, now we have it on the record page. So if you have any preferences there, also know that you could do that as well. Okay, so next up, let's actually try this out. So here we are on the lead page, and you could be anywhere in Salesforce. That's the best part about the utility. So here, I'm going to go and start a new chat, which, bam, we get the selection. I'm going to decide on something I want to know about. So maybe, what is pop culture? And I'll submit, and we'll get our answer back here in Salesforce. Bam. Pop culture refers to da 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 da. And we could continue the conversation to say something like, how does pop culture influence counterculture? Allowing this This goes along with as if you were in OpenAI ChatGPT and actually having the conversation back and forth with the bot. It'll build off of the previous responses so that then you could, do the whole prompt engineering portion in here and establish these chats. And then you could just continue them as you go. Now, all of these are forever logged in Salesforce, so if you need to delete them, that's up to your Salesforce admin. You can report on them as well. So one of the benefits uh, of having these, we could actually go and take a look. So OpenAI chats, I'll do all. And this actually shows us that we have these records that then keep these chats going. So right here, this was a chat I did before, and I could switch over to that one. When was OpenAI founded? December 2015. When was ChatGPT released to the public? Back in 2020. So here you can see that you can get those conversations and keep a collection of information and maybe even start to convert these into knowledge articles within your sales and service pipelines. So yet again, a lot of functionality that you can play around with here, and we hope that you enjoy this app. You're able to contribute to the project itself if you head over to our GitHub, which if I go and check that out, we actually have it on the blog post. So here you can end up checking that out, where we actually have the GitHub and some of the portions, so you could push your developer towards this so that then they could pull down some of the source code and start to understand how we've integrated it and how we could actually start to add on to it and go further. Alrighty, hope you really enjoyed. Thank you for your time. Check us out at looselycanon.com. That is loosely canon with one N. And you could find other resources for anything else there, as well as here on our channel as we continue to grow. Thanks for your time. Have a good one.